What is something that was billed as the next big thing and actually was not a complete failure? Amazon. It was clear fairly early on that it was going to be a huge disruption to bookstores, but it was not clear that it was going to disrupt all the stores. My grandma, who's been dead for 10 plus years now, was an Amazon early adopter. She got an email with like a flyer of books, which she printed of course, and she bought them with her credit card and dial-up internet. All I remember is looking at the flyer, picking out books, and my mom joking that it was a Scholastic book fair for grown-ups, and her sitting there with her credit card in her hand and a cigarette, and a whiskey in the other while the modem screamed. It seemed like a fed. If we had been paying attention and bought stock, I would be retired instead of sitting on Reddit. The internet. I remember when it was first starting out in the late 90s, and nerds were saying it would change everything about the way we live and do business, etc., and I was like yeah, but it turned out they were right. I remember when they were calling it the information superhighway. In my college classes we debated whether people would want to read the news on their slates, and most of us naively predicted that people would still want physical newspapers and magazines. Well yeah, have you ever tried to swat a fly with a rolled-up tablet? Online shopping. I acknowledge that I am old-fashioned and still prefer to go to stores and try things on, but in my town, there is only one store left I buy clothes at. Our mall is almost entirely vacant spaces. Of the 4 cornerstone stores they had, only one remains. One was replaced by a grocery store, a Macy's became a Via Clinic. The other has just been vacant for 6 years now. Solid-state drives. They are better in nearly every way, faster, smaller, lighter, lower power, and by now, cheaper up to about 512 gigabytes. Spinning hard drives are still cheaper if you want to store terabytes and are okay with being less efficient. The chip will wear out after being written too much, but the limit is way beyond what you will do before you buy another computer. Electric scooters are becoming what Segway wanted to be, a bicycle for the lazy. Sliced bread, people are still buying it, if I recall correctly. Wanted to confirm this as I was not 100%. I went to the store and would you believe there was like a whole aisle of loaves of bread that were pre-sliced. They did it. The sons of bitches did it. iPads. They were widely laughed at, especially the name. People had been trying to sell tablets for years with no success. They left mercilessly at the name, iPad, saying it sounded like a feminine hygiene product. 3D printing. I thought it was going to just be a short-term fad, but it stuck around longer than I anticipated. I think drones might be the same way if they start using them for deliveries on a wide scale. Drones have been huge for videography. They are cheap, accessible, and they get shots that you would have no chance getting on that budget before. They really did change the game. Brock Lesnar was literally nicknamed the next big thing upon arriving in WWE and did pretty well for himself. Video calling. It took 30 years plus, but it has changed how we communicate. LeBron James, when he was still 16, 17, people thought he would go on to be one of the greatest athletes of all time. Spoiler alert, he did it. He had a nationally televised high school game. Even non-basketball people knew his name. That's how hyped up he was. He was so good and so athletic as a teenager. People thought when he was in high school that he could step on an NBA court at the moment and be the best player on it. And they were completely right. He got compared to Michael Jordan constantly years before. He could even legally drink. Yet with all of that hype, all of that pressure, he came to the NBA and managed to exceed every single lofty expectation that was cast upon him. It's an amazing story. A BS in normal cars. Fuel injection, car computers, EPA emissions, airbags, seatbelts, just to name a few more with cars. They have come a long, long way, but I would argue machine translation engines such as Google Translate would fit this description. Of course, it was not initially that way, but after years and years of trial and error, they are quickly approaching human parity in certain language pairs and certain language fields, which is slightly unsettling as a professional translator. Wireless earbuds. They were mocked when announced, but you rarely see anyone with wired ones anymore. I think the main thing that was mocked was the styling of the AirPods. As far as I can remember, the tech itself was generally seen as impressive once they were proven to work well. Even the styling has been updated as the tech got better. Oh, and they were mocked for how easy it is to lose them if they fall out, which is a fair criticism in my opinion, even today. The iPhone. The whole push away from having a physical keypad in phones that the iPhone popularized seemed preposterous to me at the time. The guy did seem to know when a market was turning. The iPhone came out right as the tech was just powerful enough to run the damn thing with not too much room left over. There is a damn good reason. It didn't run Flash, and it was not because they were ahead of the game. It's not like they were first to market with any given feature, but wrapped up together they made a very nice and shiny package that wowed. COVID. Absolutely, there had been a string of new hypedemics every year, from avian flu to Zika. COVID seemed like another flash in the pan outbreak of media fear-mongering, then the whole world shut down. I am no expert, but I remember back in March of 2020 right before shutdown when people were saying, it's only for a couple of weeks. My immediate thought was that we would be lucky to be back in the office by June. Even I was not being pessimistic enough. Electric cars. Elon Musk is a fascist tool, but I cannot deny that electric cars went from being a novelty to a very effective, mainstream choice since he bought Tesla. He certainly helped electric cars become the mainstream, but he didn't invent them, nor did he start Tesla like most think. Any enthusiastic millionaire could have done the same thing, but I have to applaud his perseverance. Guess it depends how you define next big thing. Electric vehicles have been around since, well, combustion vehicles. The viability took a turn relatively recently though, but even then it's still hard to compete in the low-end markets. The battery cost is going to be a bugger for quite a while, and the used market is going to be interesting in the future because of it too. But for strong markets with some cash to burn, it does look like it's finally got its time to shine. LeBron James, dude was advertised as a prodigy among prodigies from the age of 14. All he has done is win the gold medals, 4 championships, make 10 NBA finals, 19 All-Star teams, 19 All-NBA teams, include 13 first teams, set the all-time league scoring record and become a billionaire before he even finished playing. Oh, and at 39 years old he is still one of the 6 best players in the game. The Mac, it changed the face of computing from command line to GUI forever, regardless of the PC's relative success. Also, the iPhone, it has, with its legion of imitators, legitimately changed the world. To be fair, Macs were only popular as a niche market until Jobs came back. It also didn't help that they were incompatible with PCs back then. Both Apple and Microsoft stole everything from Xerox PARC. Apple built a whole new system from the ground up, Microsoft painted a picture on top of a CLI. Music streaming services. I am surprised you are not getting more upvotes. It essentially made piracy unnecessary. You can get unlimited music, immediate release and agnostic selection from many labels. Yes, I get that the artist does not get paid much, but the consumer really wins on this. If TV movies followed the same model, you would no need to pirate it. Yes, the business model is different. I just hate how you have to subscribe to different studios for different content. For context, I have paid Spotify subscription but still pirate my TV movies. It already changed everything and most people are still not aware of it. Yes and no, it's not near as good as most people think, but it's still decent enough to use in a lot of situations. I use it every day for work, and realize it's wrong as often as it's right. VR, it definitely didn't explode in popularity, but that's because of high cost of entry, which has been steadily coming down, and because of it being hard to try out for free. If you don't have a friend who has a VR setup, then your options are buying it yourself and hoping it's good, going and paying for a VR experience if there is one near you, or trying it out at a convention, I guess. Anyone who tried Google Cardboard and was underwhelmed probably thinks PC VR is similarly underwhelming. It's not. I have introduced about 20 people to VR and all of them put the headset on and saw the controllers they were holding moving around in space and were floored. Not even playing a game, just in the menu. Thanks for watching. Share your opinion in the comments. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing. It will help a lot.